Well, hi there, my friends. Welcome to another weigh-in. Yes, another week has passed, and here we are again. This week's news is that I have gained at least a pound from last week, probably the one that I lost. In any event, no surprise to me with the holiday weekend. Was expecting it, not upset about it. All I am doing now is focusing on my after summer plan. What does that mean? That means getting back to tracking, getting my steps in, drinking my water, basically overall doing things that make me feel healthier. Because even though I might enjoy indulging in things that are not so healthy for me to eat, I end up not feeling well. So I'm looking forward to doing the good stuff that I do that helps me to feel well once again. Because I've been playing around with this since the week before my birthday in the end of July. So enough is enough now. It's time to regroup and forge forward. And that's what I plan to do. So with regard to the WW meeting, which by the way, I am not an employee of WW. I have never been an employee of WW. I am a paying member on my way to reaching lifetime. So I don't have to pay anymore. I do follow the Nutrisystem way of eating. I'm very content with that. It is Weight Watcher friendly. And in my videos, I usually report on the Nutrisystem information along with WW, along with Healthi Bites, the old blue plan on WW, and calories. In case you were not aware, that is my focus of my videos, in sharing that information with you and hoping that it might help you in your journey, regardless of what plan you're on. So, this last month, we focused on, in WW meetings, celebrating our journey. And each week we had a different technique to help us celebrate our journey. This coming month now is going to be, the theme will be time-saving solutions. Because time-saving solutions will ultimately help us in our journey to getting healthier and losing weight. So the technique for this week is how to tame your to-do list. But before we go on to that, I just want to talk a little bit about things that take up our time in general. And the list can go on, but the basic things that take up most people's time is family obligations, work and volunteer obligations, maintaining a home obligations to friends, either helping them or socializing with them. Some people have a list of books they want to read. Some people have a list of shows they want to watch. And those things do take up our time. We mostly live a full life, and that's why. So now we want to embark on a weight loss journey and getting healthy. So what do? We have to add in more things that take up our time. Things like that will support our weight loss and wellness goals, whatever they are. Each of us have different ones. So what are some of those things? Okay, tracking activity or actually doing activity. In my case, it's steps. Going to a meeting, whatever plan you may be on. Either a YouTube meeting or some sort of a membership meeting. That does take up time. Watching YouTube videos about the plan that you're on and other people that may be on that plan, that you find them helpful, takes up a lot of time. For myself, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, probably more than I need to. Prepping for your meal plans, whatever they are, that takes up time. So what ends up happening when we add in all of these things on top of the list of obligations that we all have in our full lives? Sometimes it becomes very difficult if we put too much more on that plate and we overload it. We may start off gung-ho because in the beginning it's a honeymoon, right? And we get all excited about whatever plan we're going to be on, and it's great. We can't wait to get started. We're all gung-ho, and we make a whole list of things to help us in getting our goals accomplished for that journey, right? And then in a few short weeks, well, we might have some of those things drop off because it's just the way it works, right? Because we're not used to doing them, because the honeymoon might be wearing off a little bit. Other stuff overwhelms us, and it just, many of those things on that list, the additional things, may fall off and not get done. So in terms of how to tame the to-do list, we should focus on making some time for these healthy behaviors so that they become just routine, where we don't really have to think about them anymore. And that does take effort and time, and practice does make more, I don't like to use the word perfect, but the more practice we do with something, or we have with something that we're trying to incorporate into things that we have are already habitual for us, are sometimes easier done if we don't have to do it all. If we just focus on one thing and we break it down into little parts. So I'll pick one thing that I'm not really good at. I don't like it. I don't feel the need to do it. But if I do it, I'm a much happier person after the fact. It's kind of like homework when you were a kid, right? You dread it, you don't want to do it, and then once it's done, you feel so great and relieved, right? Okay, so prepping for the week. Now, for some plans, that's very, very involved, or as involved as you want to make it. I like the words keep it simple. I like to keep everything simple. Even when I do prep, I like to keep the recipe very simple, something I just pull what I have out of the cabinet, throw it together, and it works for me. I'm going to enjoy eating it because that's important, and it fits in with my plan. Okay? So, list goal supporting tasks and pick one. So we're going to do this prep. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to list it, and we're going to pick one task out of the list for food prep. Now, you break it down to the smallest steps. That's going to increase the likelihood that you're actually going to accomplish this. And once you accomplish it, you're going to feel much better about it, right? I would think so. For myself, that's true. So, food prep. We'll go into the app, hypothetically speaking, and we will pick out some very interesting, in the case for me, really simple recipes for the week, whatever it's going to be. Either that it's going to be snack recipes, it's going to be meal recipes. I'm going to go in and pick out some real simple things to make, okay? Then I'm going to formulate a grocery list. Now, there are some apps which will formulate your grocery list for you, or make it much simpler for you to create your own. However you do that. Now, Walmart is very helpful to me because it tracks every single thing that I buy every time I go there. And I tend to go there a lot. So I can go in and I can pick and choose real easily and formulate my shopping list based on if I'm going to be making things that incorporate the things that I typically buy. If not, I can just add it right in there. So, pardon me. You formulate your grocery list and now you shop. Now, that could be that you send in your Walmart order and that you pick it up. That could mean that you physically go into a store and you do your shopping. That could mean somebody else does your shopping. Whatever it is, ultimately we have to shop for the food in order for us to make the meals, right? Elementary, right? So we then have the food in our home and we now prep some of the ingredients. We do wash and chop up the vegetables and put them into individual containers. Prep our fruit for the week, whatever we're going to decide for the 5 days, if we're having a fruit a day, whatever, what have you. And then we ultimately cook some meals, whatever that's going to be. It could be as simple as you're making one meal this week. Some of us make more than one meal. So that's basically taking food prep in general and breaking it down into the little steps. Just taking one thing of your list of things to do that are going to be positive for your wellness journey and that are task oriented. And then we come to the 4-letter word. we are busy. And what we have to do now, because we are busy, is be very, very realistic in our goal choices. Don't make it too big. Keep it really simple, and it will make it much easier for you to accomplish. And the more that you keep it simple and accomplish it, the more positively reinforcing it is, and the better it will be for you in terms of losing weight and getting healthy. So, let's see. I do have my notes here. I apologize if I'm looking down, but I don't function without notes. So, the theme of this technique, if there is a theme, I'm calling it that, is that you don't have to do everything perfectly, okay? You focus on what you think you're capable of for this week, and you set that goal for yourself. Whatever it is that is in your list. It may not be food prep, it may be steps. Then you need to sit down and break down how you're going to do the steps. What time of days do you think is best for you to do the steps? Yes, Leela is here with me, keeping me company. She doesn't want me to be lonely. So that brings us to our health and wellness journey needs to fit into our life. It does not take it over, or it should not, I should say, take it over. Does that make sense? It makes sense to me, because if it takes over my life, I can just see that as a setup for disaster. So there has to be a way, and each one of us is an individual with individual lives and goals, where we have to sit down and spend some time on setting that goal. And each week we are asked in the WW meeting to set a STAR goal, which is a specific goal that's truly doable and realistic. So this month's theme kind of really fits in with that weekly goal setting. So for this week, whether you're on WW or not, if you're on a weight loss journey and a journey to getting healthy, pick something for yourself that you actually know is going to be doable. Break it down into small baby steps and see how you make out. And I would love to know how this all works out for you next week. So please share with me if you don't mind, either in the Facebook group, through Messenger on Facebook, through my email, or right here, commenting on this video. I would really love to know how you made out. I am going to work on steps, top of my list, because everything else seems to fall in place for me if I do focus on getting those steps in. For some reason, I guess because when I do my steps, I feel better. And when you feel better, everything seems to go better, at least for me anyway. So on that note, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me today for my weigh-in. And I hope that you found some of this information to be helpful, and at least that it gave you some things to think about for your journey into getting healthy and losing weight. And I'm going to look very forward to making another video for you again very soon, and I will see you there. In the meantime, I want to thank you again, and I'm going to say goodbye for now. Take care.